My friends bullied me online without knowing it was me. Every group has a background character, and I was ours. There were 4 of us, me, Sarah, Kayla, and Riley. They were the loud soundtrack of school hallways, the girls who made everything look easy, perfect eyeliner, endless inside jokes, constant selfies. I was the girl behind the camera, always asked to get the good angle. They'd laugh, throw their arms around each other, and I'd snap, pretending I belonged in the frame too. I wasn't unpopular, I was invisible in a friendly way. Teachers liked me, people trusted me with secrets they'd forget telling. I didn't need the spotlight, or at least, that's what I told myself whenever it burned too bright around them. Sarah was the leader, quick, beautiful, fearless online. Kayla her echo with sharper edges. Riley the peacekeeper who tried to make kindness fashionable. And me, quiet Lena, their sweet little cinnamon roll friend. They said it like a compliment. It sounded more like a participation ribbon. I loved them anyway. Maybe love isn't even the right word. It was more like faith. They made my world feel organized, a rhythm I could fall into without worrying about my own lyrics. The nights we stayed up watching movies or the afternoons crowded onto one bed doing homework, I clung to those pieces like proof I mattered. But sometimes their teasing hit just a little too hard. The day Sarah joked about my thrift store jacket, Lena shops like she's in a charity commercial, everyone howled. I laughed too, cheeks flushing, pretending it didn't sting. They didn't mean harm, I told myself. That's what girls like them did, turn irony into affection, pain into punch lines. Still, when I got home, I peeled the jacket from my shoulders like it was guilt. The next morning, Sarah wore a vintage blazer she called grunge chic, nearly identical to mine. Everyone loved it. Iconic, they said, and I just grinned, small and silent, a ghost applauding her own haunting. There's a fine line between belonging and being used for contrast. Back then, I couldn't see it yet. I was too busy chasing warmth in a group that only lent it out when the cameras were on. It started like every other impulsive idea Sarah ever had, half joke, half prophecy. You know what this school needs, she said one afternoon between bites of fries. A place that actually tells the truth. No filters, no fake nice. Kayla's eyes lit up instantly, like a gossip account. More like journalism, Sarah smirked, just less boring. Riley laughed but didn't say no. And me, I hesitated, staring at their faces glowing in the lunchroom light. I'd seen what those T pages did, anonymous posts that wrecked reputations overnight. That's kind of cruel, I said. What if someone gets hurt? Sarah waved a manicured hand. Relax, Lena, everyone's getting roasted. Equal opportunity chaos. They created the handle right there at the table. At truth high asterisk tagline, no filters, no mercy. Kayla brainstormed witty captions. Riley handled the first meme post. I ended up designing the logo, a minimalist I symbol, clean and ironic. That's perfect, Sarah said, bumping my shoulder. Our silent artist strikes again. My stomach fluttered, approval always did that. So when she asked for my number to link the backup email, I handed it over without thinking. At first, the page was harmless fun, reposting generic confessions, joking about cafeteria food, rating outfits with emojis. The follower count trickled upward, harmlessly thrilling. It felt like watching a bonfire from a safe distance. Then the tone shifted. Kayla uploaded a blurry hall photo of a couple kissing, captioned, "When your boyfriend's GPA is lower than your standards." Hundreds of likes in an hour. See, Sarah crowed. People love honesty. Soon they were naming names, mocking teachers, critiquing students' haircuts, ranking friend groups. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications I didn't want but couldn't ignore. Whenever I said, maybe we should delete that one, Sarah would laugh. You're too nice for the internet, Lena, chill, it's content. Riley tried to stay neutral, saying the posts were satire, though she grimaced each time Sarah's grin turned mean. I told myself the same lie I'd used our entire friendship. If I just go along, things will settle. Instead, they accelerated. Within a month, truth high asterisk had nearly 3,000 followers. People whispered about it the way they used to whisper about crushes. Being connected to its creators suddenly felt powerful and terrifying. I kept waiting for the guilt to outweigh the thrill. It never did, at least not yet. But deep down, some quiet part of me whispered that the bonfire I'd helped light was already starting to consume the air around us. The post dropped on a Tuesday, somewhere between algebra and lunch. I didn't notice it at first. My phone buzzed with tags and laughter until Riley leaned across the cafeteria table, showing me her screen. This one is brutal, she giggled. On it, truth high asterisk was a photo of a girl in a thrift store jacket standing slightly hunched beside the vending machines. The caption read, "When you try to blend with the cool kids but forget camouflage only works in the woods." Then a string of hashtags, desperate much lost puppy social climber. The picture was grainy, but the brown jacket, my jacket, was unmistakable. My stomach fell through the floor. For a heartbeat I waited for them to realize, for sympathy to flicker across one of their faces. Instead, Sarah almost wheezed from laughing. "Oh my god, who submitted that? It's so mean but so accurate." Kayla leaned in, snorting, "Poor girl, bet she thinks those patches are ironic." Riley smiled uncertainly. "Maybe we shouldn't." "Come on," Sarah cut her off, "it's funny." And I laughed too, because not laughing would have given me away. My cheeks burned as if the cafeteria lights had turned into spotlights aimed only at me. My own voice sounded far away, hollow. "Yeah, I mean, who wears that?" Inside, something cracked, the soundless kind of break that doesn't heal right. The rest of lunch blurred. When Sarah asked me to help choose the next post, I muttered an excuse, grabbed my bag and escaped to the bathroom. I locked myself in a stall, slid down cold tiles and finally opened my phone. Hundreds of comments already. Oof, this hurts to look at. Someone tell her to get a mirror. One said she's in my English class, LOL total leech. I scrolled until the words blurred into static. Somewhere in that noise was the phantom image of me, pathetic, unoriginal, disposable. I wanted to scream, to call them, to demand how they could not recognize their own friend. But maybe that was the truth. They never really saw me in the first place. That night my phone glowed on the nightstand like a wound that wouldn't clot. Meme pages reposted the photo, adding their own captions. Anonymous DMs rolled in, some pitying, most cruel. I deleted one after another, but the internet doesn't erase, it echoes. Lying awake, I replayed their laughter, especially Sarah's, and realized something jagged. I'd built my entire sense of belonging on people who would rather laugh at me than see me bleed. And yet part of me still hoped one of them would text, "We didn't know it was you. We're sorry." No one did. The next morning, the post had 15,000 likes. I went to school anyway, walking the hall like a ghost haunting her own life. Every whisper sounded familiar. Every chuckle felt directed at me. By lunchtime, I understood the cruelest thing about anonymity. It doesn't protect you. It protects everyone else. After the post, I stopped sitting with them. The first time, I mumbled something about a project I had to finish. The second time, Sarah rolled her eyes. "So busy now," she joked loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Guess the loser from that gossip page scared her away. Laughter followed on cue. Even Riley smiled weakly. I chewed the inside of my cheek until the taste of iron reminded me to stay quiet. Walking away felt like ripping off Velcro, loud inside my head, invisible to everyone else. I started eating lunch in the library. The quiet should have felt peaceful, but isolation doesn't erase humiliation, it just muffles it. Between study sessions, I scrolled through Truth High asterisk, convincing myself if I kept monitoring it, maybe I could stop them from crossing lines again. Every new post blurred names into victims. A teacher's outfit, someone's breakup, a girl's body dissected in hashtags. Each time I hovered over the report button, guilt battled cowardice. I didn't want to out them. I wanted them to remember me fondly, to regret losing me. I know how pathetic that sounds now. At home, Mom noticed. She'd tilt her head, eyes scanning my face the way Mom sense storms. Everything okay at school? Totally, I'd say, plastering on the same smile I used to survive the cafeteria. The lie tasted like chalk. Eventually, I cracked. Late one night, I reported the account multiple times using fake profiles. I flagged harassment, bullying, hate speech, every option Instagram offered. Nothing happened. The next morning, Sarah bragged about how school finally admitted we're legends. Thousands of followers became small godhood and they worshipped their own cruelty. Then came a new post. A photo of me sitting alone in class, hand over my mouth, clearly crying. The caption, "When your only friends won't tag you in their pics." I stared at it so long my face felt numb. Someone had taken it without me noticing. The comments were merciless. "She looks like she smells like printer ink. Who keeps posting this girl Elmau?" I locked myself in my room that night, deleting old selfies, group shots, anything connecting me to them. If the world wanted to rewrite me as a punchline, I'd erase the evidence. The next morning, Sarah texted the group chat, "OMG, people are obsessed with that poor girl. Should we tell them who she is?" My phone slipped from my hand. I picked it up, typed one sentence, then deleted it. "It's me." Because admitting it felt worse than enduring it. At least silence still gave me the illusion of dignity. Something inside me hardened after that last post, some mix of fury and exhaustion that no longer cared about being the nice one. I didn't want to cry anymore. I wanted control, or at least the illusion of it. That's how @silent truth was born. Not a gossip page, a reckoning. It took a single night of planning. I started by creating a throwaway email, setting the profile picture as a blank silhouette and bio as one line. Not every truth is pretty, some are payback. Within minutes, I followed *truth high* and locked the account private. The mystery baited curiosity almost immediately. Requests poured in before I'd even posted. The first post was calculated. Screenshots of *truth high's internal DMs that I'd quietly saved while still in their circle. I captioned them simply, "Not everything that glitters is honest." People noticed. Comments doubled each hour. Rumors exploded faster than I expected, whispering through hallways, mutating with every retelling. I posted again the next day, a cropped message between Sarah and Kayla laughing about making up breakup stories for followers. "We need fresh drama." Silent Truth became the oxygen everyone craved. Anonymous no more, yet I was invisible again, name hidden in a different way. Part of me felt sick, even while adrenaline made my hands tremble with excitement. I justified it as justice. For every cruel caption they'd written, I offered raw evidence. Screenshots of them mocking classmates. Voice notes of Sarah saying, "The uglier the target, the better engagement." Followers multiplied. People flooded the comments with cheering emojis, calling *silent truth* a hero. For once, public opinion was on my side. But virality doesn't love, it devours. Within a week, conspiracy theories bloomed. Some said the account was Riley's, others swore it was a random hacker. Then someone posted, "Bet it's that quiet girl Sarah hangs with Lena something. She's always online." A few hours later, another anonymous page popped up accusing me of running Truth High all along, claiming Silent Truth was just a cover. Screenshots faked, but convincing, circulated showing me submitting posts about classmates. The mob turned, confusion crackling like wildfire. My DMs filled again, same venom, different different reason. Riley texted privately, "Did you make those pages? Please tell me you didn't." I typed, erased, then finally sent, "I made silent truth. The other one's theirs, no answer." By Friday, the school principal called an assembly about cyberbullying and accountability. The irony felt almost holy. Sitting there watching Sarah and Kayla whisper furiously a few rows ahead, I should have felt triumph. Instead, all I felt was depletion. Revenge didn't glow, it drained. That night, I refreshed silent truth *** one more time. The follower count hit 50,000. My phone buzzed nonstop, praise mixed with threats, strangers begging for my next drop. It wasn't vindication anymore. It was chaos wearing my fingerprints. I stared at the logo I'd designed, the blank silhouette, and realized I built another monster. The same appetite, just mirrored. The internet never wanted redemption, it wanted spectacle. So I posted the truth that no one asked for. I started this page because I was hurt. I thought exposing cruelty would fix me, but it only multiplied it. Maybe we all just need to log off and look each other in the eye. Then I logged out. For the first time in months, the silence in my room wasn't terrifying, it was clean. The Monday after my final post, rumors swirled like gnats. Some said I'd been expelled, others said I was secretly working with administration to expose the bullying ring. None of it was true, but it didn't stop the whispers. By lunch, my hands were sweaty, pulse hammering in my ears. I'd had enough of hiding. If the world wanted a villain or a victim, I'd give them something else, the truth. Sarah, Kayla, and Riley sat where they always did, center table, surrounded by muted laughter. The online empire that had once made them untouchable now looked brittle. Their phones lay face down, which told me they were scared. Good. I stood there a moment before speaking. "Hey," I said, voices paused. The cafeteria noise dimmed, the strange magic of tension drawing attention. Riley looked up first, cautious. Sarah rolled her eyes. "If this is about silent truth, we're done playing detective." "This isn't about that," I said, voice shaking. "This is about me." Before they could interrupt, I pulled out my phone and opened the screenshot folder. The original group chat ***truth highs **creation thread glared from the screen. "You remember this," I said, scrolling so they could see their words. "Let's roast Lena next. She won't care, she's used to being background." Riley's hand flew to her mouth. Kayla muttered, "Holy was that," but Sarah laughed, brittle as glass. "You can't prove that's real." "I don't have to," I said, "you know it is." Her laughter died. The table had gone pin quiet except for trays clattering somewhere in the back. Anger flushed my face. "You posted me, you humiliated me, and you didn't even notice it was me." Riley whispered, "We didn't know, Lena, I swear." "You should have known," my voice cracked halfway through the sentence. "You were my friends." Sarah leaned back, arms crossed. "You're acting like we committed a crime. Everyone gets mocked online, toughen up." I felt something inside me finally snap. "You ruined me for likes." That line hung heavy in the air. Nobody answered. I left before anyone could see the tears fall. Outside, rain started. I watched it streak across the windows, blurring everyone's reflections. No applause, no cinematic moment, just the dull ache of realization that closure isn't satisfying, it's silent. That night, while the storm deepened, silent truth came alive one last time, not by accident. I uploaded the entire chat thread, unedited, timestamped, the same one I'd shown them. The caption read, "Sometimes the only confession left is evidence." The post detonated across feeds within hours. Students shared it, local accounts reposted, screenshots spread further than my guilt could chase them. By morning, Sarah's sponsorships vanished. Brands deleted her collaborations. Kayla denied everything, claiming fake screenshots, even as her old usernames caught up with her. Riley, "I'm sorry for everything." I didn't answer, but for the first time, her apology didn't sound rehearsed. As the chaos unfolded, I felt no thrill, only fatigue. Winning online still meant losing somewhere deeper. Yet a strange calm threaded through me too. The truth, messy and public, was out. Everyone finally saw the faces behind the cruelty. And everyone saw mine too, not as a meme or post, but as a person who refused to vanish. The weeks after the reveal blurred into noise. Truth high *** was deleted, but its ghosts lingered in screenshots that refused to die. Every hallway at school buzzed with fragments of our story. Did you see Sarah's meltdown? Kayla's crying in the bathroom. Riley unfollowed everyone. Their empire had collapsed, leaving rubble that everyone wanted to sift through. People approached me with cautious admiration, like I was both hero and contagion. "You were so brave," they'd whisper. "Finally someone took them down." Others weren't as kind. "She wanted attention all along," someone muttered in the lunch line. Reputation had just changed costumes, gossip stayed gossip. Sarah's apology video appeared 3 days later, ring light glowing, mascara streaking just enough for sympathy. She blamed peer pressure and clout culture, apologized to anyone who felt hurt. The comments tore her apart anyway. Watching it didn't feel satisfying. It felt cheap, like watching someone read from a script she didn't believe. Kayla tried deflecting by leaking chat logs that painted Sarah as mastermind. Riley stayed mostly silent, except for one quiet post. Sometimes silence is the loudest apology. For that, she was both mocked and pitied. I stayed out of it entirely. Deleting *silent truth felt like yanking a thorn from my skin, relief followed by the sting of emptiness. Justice didn't erase the ache, it only turned it into echo. Therapy became less about panic and more about aftermath. My therapist said, "Trauma lingers because it rewires what safety means." I nodded, understanding. I flinched each time my phone buzzed, half expecting another ridicule disguised as attention. Even good notifications made my stomach twist. At night, I wrote letters I never sent. "Dear Sarah, you taught me that charisma without empathy is just cruelty wearing makeup." "Dear Kayla, I still don't know if you ever saw me as real." "Dear Riley, I hope you forgive yourself before before I do. I folded them into a notebook, not for revenge this time but for release. Life continued quietly, as if the scandal had been just another trending sound that faded too soon. New gossip pages appeared, same cruelty with new usernames. Sometimes people still looked at me like an object lesson, the cautionary tale of what happens when you fight back online. But I also found a strange, fragile peace in that quiet. Being alone was uncomfortable, but at least it was honest. There were no cameras, no captions to interpret my pain, just me unfiltered for the first time. Healing wasn't loud, it was sitting through silence and realizing it didn't hurt anymore. Months slipped by, the scandal shrinking to background noise. Teachers stopped whispering, students found new rumors, and the algorithm moved on. For the first time in a long time, no one cared what I posted or if I posted at all. The absence of attention felt awkward at first, like standing in a quiet room after leaving a concert. But that quiet became the soil where something steadier started to grow. I deleted *silent truth permanently, no backups, no screenshots. Letting it go felt like deleting an old version of myself. I started a new account, this time under my real name, not for drama, just words. I wrote blog-style posts about anxiety, envy, and why kindness shouldn't need an audience. I didn't expect anyone to read them, but a few did. One girl messaged, "Your post made me stop stalking hate pages. Thank you." I cried reading that. Maybe honesty could go viral too, just slower. Offline, I began rebuilding piece by piece. Therapy taught me that forgiveness wasn't a switch, it was a skill. Forgiving didn't mean forgetting, it just meant unclenching my fists long enough to breathe. Unexpectedly, Riley reached out through email. "I've been in therapy too," she wrote. "I left Sarah and Kayla months ago. I see what we did now, I'm sorry." I stared at her words for a long time before replying. "I'm glad you're getting help. I am too. Maybe sometime we can talk." When we met at a small cafe, everything was cautious. She kept fiddling with her sleeve, I kept stirring cold coffee, but honesty bridged the silence. "I laughed at things that hurt you," she said. "I told myself it wasn't my fault, but it was." I nodded, not as absolution but as acknowledgement. "We were all scared to be invisible," I admitted, "so we let cruelty make us visible." That conversation cracked open something softer between us. We didn't try to resurrect the old friendship. We built a new one in smaller, humbler pieces. No cameras, no gossip, just real talk and silence that didn't feel heavy. Writing became my lighthouse. I turned *silent truth *s wreckage into essays about empathy and digital accountability. The difference was, this time I wasn't hiding behind destruction. I was standing within understanding. I'm visible again, not because someone posted me, but because I decided my voice mattered. The internet once defined me by lies. Now I define myself by truth, even when it's quiet. Graduation came wrapped in the smell of hairspray and nervous excitement. Every corner of the gym buzzed with camera flashes and the metallic crackle of cheap microphones. I stood near the back of the line, cap slipping sideways, hands damp against my gown. For the first time in years, I wasn't part of a group photo. There was no chorus of "come stand with us," and surprisingly, that absence felt like freedom, not rejection. When they called my name, the applause was polite, scattered. I crossed the stage anyway, head high. The cameras didn't zoom in, no post would go viral. But the quiet clapping from a few teachers and the small wave from mom in the crowd felt infinitely louder than digital noise. After the ceremony, I found Riley waiting by the exit, clutching 2 cups of lemonade. We smiled, shared awkward congratulations, and took just one photo together. No filters, no retakes. When I looked at it later, our faces were soft, real. We looked like survivors, not influencers. Sarah and Kayla didn't attend. Rumor said they graduated early through online credits. Their disappearance didn't bring satisfaction, just closure. Everyone's story moved somewhere else, as stories do. I sat on the bleachers after the crowd thinned, watching families take pictures. My phone buzzed with reminders of old memories. On this day 2 years ago, blurry photos from the friendship that once defined me. For a heartbeat, I almost deleted them, but I stopped at one. The asterisk photo, the one that started it all. Me by the vending machines, laughing too hard, unaware the camera wasn't kind. I stared at it in silence. The image used to humiliate me. Now it just looked like a girl trying too hard to belong. A girl who loved people who didn't know how to love her back. I saved it to a folder titled Proof of Survival. College letters waited at home. My writing blog had grown modestly but steadily. Strangers shared my posts about healing, about how words can wound or rebuild. It wasn't fame, just connection, real connection. Sometimes I still feel echoes of that old invisibility, but I've learned that being unseen can also mean being safe enough to figure out who you are. As I left the gym, sunlight bounced off the floor like applause I didn't need. I thought about every caption, every cruel laugh, every version of myself that tried to earn belonging. They didn't know it was me in that picture. They never did. But now, finally, I do.